What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of Benny in the Booth podcast. Just gonna get everything set up and we'll be ready to go. Hope everyone's day's going well, week's going well, weekend going well. Um, Sorry I didn't do the episode yesterday. I just had a haircut yesterday and still had to catch up on some notes. So for podcasts, so I wasn't able to do it yesterday, but still get one out this week. So I'm doing it today instead. As you probably noticed already, there's a difference in the background, and I'm going to get to that in a bit. Because if you didn't catch last episode, past month, on Monday, I went to my first ever WWE live show in person, and I'm going to talk about it in a moment, and we'll get to it. And that was something I got from that show that I went to in person. But either way, let's get right into this week's episode. Welcome, everybody. This week's episode of Benny in the Booth podcasting. Thank you all so much for the support to this point. I very much appreciate it. Episode 181. So let's dive right into this. So today's Immaculate Grid: Dodgers, Red Sox, Hall of Fame, Mets, Cardinals, and 3+ homer season. Okay, Mets, Dodgers. I'm gonna go. Actually, this is where I'm gonna go. Ricky Henderson. 3%, I'll take that. Mets, Dodgers, I could go Darryl Strawberry. Gagne doesn't fit. Wagner doesn't fit. Glavine doesn't fit. Maddox doesn't fit. I don't think Doc Gooden played for both. Oh, Gary Sheffield played for both. 2%, I will take that very much. Mets and Red Sox. If someone actually played for 85 Mets and then 86 Red Sox, but I don't remember who it was from the 86 stuff. Who else played for Oh, I just thought of someone who's probably not going to be a common answer. Cespedes, 2%, I will take that. Cardinals, Dodgers. Okay. Who would fit for Cardinals and Dodgers? Skip Schumacher. 0.4%, I will take that. Cardinals, Red Sox. Cy Young, I believe, fits that. 1%, I will take that. Cardinals Hall of Fame, I'm probably going to be Cy Young there. Also under Italy in hindsight. Cardinals Hall of Fame. Oh, I just want to see something. Okay, so nothing about has to have. Okay, Cardinals Hall of Fame. Oh, just recently from this recent Hall of Fame class, 0.5%. I will take that. 30+ homer season for the Dodgers. Hmm. I'm gonna go Sean Green. 6%. I'll take that. Red Sox 30+ homer season. Who do I want to go for Red Sox 30+ homer season? Who do I want to go for Red Sox 30+ homer season? Oh, I wonder if. So I know he played a full year with the Red Sox. I wonder if he did it in that year. Oof. 2 homers short. Dang it. Because that would have been a fun answer if Adrian Beltre did it, but he's like 2 homers short. Any chance? Yeah, I have my doubts because I don't think it was a full season even in 18. Yeah, not 18, not a full season. And well, actually combined, he got the total, but wasn't a full season, so it wouldn't count. And he didn't even play enough in 19. Um, I just thought of someone I think he would fit here. Nope. How about you? Yep. Jim Rice. 12%. Higher than I was expecting, but okay. And Hall of Famer 3+ homer season. Imagine Bobby Brave for sure would have done it. Or not. And it's not even showing my total rarity score. Oh, 125. Okay, so top rarity scores for today. Mets Dodgers 22% is Mike Piazza. Mets Red Sox 21% is Pedro Martinez. Mets Hall of Famer 29% is Tom Seaver. Cardinals Dodgers at 33% is Albert Pujols. Cardinals Red Sox 11% is Edgar Renteria. That's interesting. That's the top answer of all the people that could have been top answer. Cardinals Hall of Famer 23% is Dan Musial. 30+ homer season batting for the Dodgers 25% Shohei Ohtani. Red Sox 30+ homer season batting at 24% is David Ortiz, and Red Sox and Hall of Famer with 30+ homer season batting at 10% is Babe Ruth. Most of those make sense. Let's switch over to Daily Walk. So I'm doing Cubs and Dodgers categories, which should be the same, maybe a bit changed, maybe not. But the categories today are franchises most appearances ranked 5 through 20. Played with Jose Hernandez. Bats left, throws right, and mainly played first base. I think players are Mark Grace, Jeremy Burnett, D. Fondy, Kevin Tapani, Nate Shearholtz, and Terry Mulholland, Frank Thomas, Kosuke Fukudome, Ernie Banks, Jim Bollinger, Jimmy Ryan, Don Kessinger. Mark Grace, Ernie Banks. I'll say I want to try that to see if that will get me. Okay, so Mark Grace is oddly enough not mainly played first base. That does tell me a lot. I have a feeling. Well, let's actually switch like this and see where that gets me here. That tells me a good amount. So is Burnett's the first baseman then? No, and I strike out. All right. Honestly, this is gonna be a rougher category for me, anyways. But either way, the full correct answers: franchise most appearances ranked 5 through 20. Don Kessinger, Mark Grace, Jimmy Ryan. Played with Jose Hernandez, 1991 debut. Terry Mulholland, Jim Billinger, Kevin Tapani. Bats left, throws right. Nate Shearholtz, Kosuke Fukudome, and Jeremy Burnett. And mainly played first base: D. Fondy, Ernie Banks, and Frank Thomas. So for the Dodgers, well, the rest are all but just played with the role of Mondesi instead for the categories. Player options: Jim Gillian, D. Strange Gordon, Adrian Gonzalez, Wes Parker, Corey Seager, Maury Wills, Max Muncy, Freddie Freeman, Tom Candiotti, Jody Reed, Steve Wilson, Luis Gonzalez. So Gonzalez, Freeman, I'm gonna say Muncy for now, but I think that's gonna be incorrect for first base, but at least for sure actually got all correct, so that helps. Swap these four because that'll give me an idea of who goes for the 3. Swap these around. Mostly correct, just swap these 2, and now fully correct. So end with a walk-off double. So full correct answers for the Dodgers. Franchise most appearances ranked 5 through 20. Jim Gilliam, Wes Parker, Maury Wills. Played with the role of Mondesi, Tom Candiotti, Steve Wilson, Jody Reed. Bats left, throws right, D. Strange Gordon, Corey Seager, Luis Gonzalez. mainly played first base, Adrian Gonzalez, Freddie Freeman, and Max Muncy. And that's it, mainly Walkoff for today. So before we get into the main part of this week's episode, I'm going to talk about me going to a live WWE show for the first time since I became a fan last SummerSlam. So if you weren't aware, if you missed last episode or you missed the part where I mentioned it, this past Monday, as in 2 days ago, I went to Monday Night Raw showing in Barclays Center, which is a lot closer to me than where SummerSlam was in MetLife in Jersey, whereas Brooklyn's like an hour from me. MetLife would have been like 2 hours at least, and even that might be not fully accurate. But either way, I had a fun time. I even got 2 matches that weren't even aired uh, on TV on a part of the Netflix part of the show. So that was a nice fun bonus I did not know was coming. But the biggest difference between in person and on TV, and this is the one difference I will tell you you need to keep in mind if you're ever planning to go, is the pyrotechnics and sound effects they do for like the walkouts and stuff are a lot louder in person than on TV, and it's not even close. Like it was scary the difference. Like I have not seen that much of a difference ever in my life. And I'm a big sports fan, and I've never seen that much of a difference. Now, I'm happy I went. I don't regret going, but that was like the craziest difference. Now, I did record some of the walkouts, but I have a feeling a lot of those songs are copyright music, so I'm not going to be playing probably show the walkouts, but without the music. But I actually had a decent seat, all things considered. Uh, this is a pic from after the show before I like headed out from my seat there. This was my seat area for the show, which honestly had a pretty good view, all things considered. Um, maybe this pic will work better because not as much. No, still can't really see the ring because. I wonder if maybe. No, it's more on my phone. Just make a difference. No, not really. But either way, honestly, like I had a really fun time. It was absolutely worth going, and I was happy I got to do it. One, I will definitely want to go more again, but it probably will be a while after how much the sound effects like scared me. The difference. See, is this any better? No, this was before the show. The view from my seat. But honestly, like I enjoyed. Happy I got to do it finally for the first time, and we'll see what the next time will be. I did end up getting a few merch things. One you see already, and I intentionally had that out. I'll get that closer, and one you don't see right away. So the one thing you do see right away, this is it for now, is a mini championship belt or mini replica championship belt. This is, I think, I thought this wasn't current up to date version of a championship, but actually is. This is the World Heavyweight Championship current belt, which oddly enough actually changed hands at SummerSlam more than once, thanks to craziness. If you know, you know. I forget how much what was what price, but this was either 20 or $35, which compared to the bigger belts, which are $200, that's a pretty good deal. And I was like, yeah, compared to the bigger belts, that's actually not bad. And I got this belt, so I have it's not the big belts, but it's like at least something. And then I got this like program that seen on the front, just WWE logo on the back, and then just has like pictures of like current wrestlers from both brands. But that's all I got. It was like $55 between the 2 items. There are also some pretty good options for merch. I'm just gonna put this back in the meantime. Um, uh, but either way, like there were signed wrestler photos from wrestlers. There's bigger titles, but they were like $200 at least. And for myself, I'm not trying to spend $200 at least on a championship belt. Maybe I take it as a birthday present, but I'm not spending $200 my own. Um, but yeah, I had a fun time. No regrets. It was an absolutely fun time, and can't wait to do it again at some point. But it'll probably be a bit because of just the difference was crazy. You know what? I'll just do this without like playing the the audio, because music I imagine would be copyright. Let's see. Let's take like a. I'll show like a few from the show. Actually, this would be a perfect one to show. This was oddly enough the one who won the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. His first walkout, because he first came out for a segment, and then he came out later for a match to defend that title, which ended up in disqualification because more people showed up. This was the walkout, and he started the actual show. I can't play audio because of probably copyright music. If you're wondering why I'm not playing any audio. Also, if you see me like tilting the camera a bit, chance not for zooming in, chances are it's probably because of me being scared from the crazy sounds of all the pyrotechnics and stuff. Like even if I did play audio, it still wouldn't display how crazy of a difference it is. It'd be like as loud as on TV. So that's one of them. Um, here's like a star that's a recent call up that's up and coming later in the show. He has a whole lot of cool pyrotechnics for his walkout. I didn't get any of the stuff from the matches because pretty much once it was in match mode, I just wanted to focus on the matches pretty much. Um, there was no Cena at the show. He's the other brand. The rest, if you don't know, Brock Lesnar made a return at SummerSlam for the first time in like 3 years. He was not at the Raw show, but I think that has more to do with him more being back for Cena, for like one last match against Cena before Cena retires. So I wasn't like completely surprised I wasn't there. It would have been a nice bonus if was there, but like it didn't make or break it for me that he was there. But either way, I still had a fun time. I don't regret it, and definitely looking forward to the next time I go to another show. Hold on one moment. Okay. Sorry about that. All right, so let's dive into this week's episode of the podcast. Because I didn't really write this in my notes, but I do remember this offhand, and so I don't forget it. The MLB Speedway Classic was this weekend. Was originally supposed to be Saturday, but due to rain, they ended up having to post. They started the game, had an RBI hit, and then ended up having to resume it on Sunday. And the craziest part was the rain was so bad, they ran out of food at the concession stands there. Ran out of buns. There's like a whole thing at the stands there, which is hilarious. But now, with an official MLB game being played in Tennessee, there are now 18 states in the U.S. that have not had any sort of MLB or MILB game. Technically, there's minor league teams in Tennessee, but MLB wise, even so, the 18 states that are left are Alaska, Arkansas, Idaho, Kansas, Louisiana, Maine, Mississippi, Montana, New Hampshire, New Mexico, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Oregon, South Carolina, South Dakota, Utah, Vermont, and Wyoming. And you know what? To make this episode fun and interactive, try to take a guess on what state you think will be the next state to host an MLB game. Whether it be some sort of themed game, or whether it would just be random, or be an expansion team. Let me know what your guess would be for the next of those states to host an MLB game would be at some point down the line. Give your answer in the comments or live chat. Curious. If I had to take a guess, I'd probably say Utah. because that has a whole bunch of like pro sports teams, and like even they got hockey recently. So like I could see that being likely. The other ones they have like one or two, but like Utah is starting to get more now with hockey, and I wouldn't be surprised baseball comes on the way as well. So if I had to take a guess, I'd say Utah. Whether that's expansion or a random game, I don't know, but I'm gonna go with Utah if I had to guess the next game for the next of those 18 states to host an MLB game. Um, by the way, these notes do not include today's games. That will just be in the next episode. Just because that it's just easier. Plus, some there are games currently going on, West Coast games. Anyway, so notes for this week's episode of the podcast. For July 29th, the Orioles beat the Blue Jays 16-4 in game one of a doubleheader. Orioles 4 home runs and 5 sac flies make them the second team to record 4 homers and 4 sac flies in the game since 1954, joining May 27th, 1955 Red Sox. 5 sac flies ties the MLB record since 1954. April 15th, 2008 Mariners. June 7th, 2006 Rockies, and August 7th, 1988 Seattle Mariners. Brewers beat the Cubs 9-3. Andrew Vaughn's grand slam homer in the sixth marks 5 homers and 21 RBIs with the Brewers in 2015 games, which RBIs is tied for the third most RBIs in the players' first 15 games with the franchise since 1920, behind 1925 Mandy Brooks 24 and 1922 Reb Russell's with the Pirates 23, and tied with 1977 Joe Rudy with the Angels, and 1970 Brant Aliyah with the Twins, 1952 Jim Greengrass with the Reds, 1937 Jesse Hill with the Athletics, and 1926 Hack Wilson with the Cubs. That's it for July 29th. For July 30th, A's beat the Mariners 5-4. Brian Wu, 6 1/3 innings, marks his 21st consecutive start of 6 innings at least to start a season, which is second most since 2016 behind Clayton Kershaw's 23. That did get added. I think it was Monday, either Monday or Tuesday. One of the days he did extend it to 22, but I won't really cover it until the record is tied or broken. That's what I usually do is I'll mention it the first time it gets mentioned, and then after that I just wait until it's broken or someone passes or that kind of note. But obviously the trade deadline happened. There were a lot of trades. I'm not going to even. I could try to go through them all, but you look it up. The Cubs did not have the best of trade deadlines, and what really ticks me off about the Cubs deadline is the fact that not only they got not really any big names, but literally one of their arms just had his first outing after praising he's happy to be with the Cubs, and then immediately goes and gets hurt and now is on the IL. It's like, really? We just got him and now he's on the IL already? It's like, you gotta be kidding me. The Cubs just did nothing. Again, a lot of teams didn't do that much better. I mean, look at the Yankees, all their new additions who are still going to be under contract beyond this year. Well, that's looking to be dumb right now because all their new players are doing pretty bad for them. Just hilarious to think about. I mean, then again, Bednar got a save tonight, but kind of just crazy how their new additions are looking right now. Anyways, but a few trade notes. With Tyler Rogers trade to the Mets and Taylor Rogers trade to the Reds on July 30th, Taylor ended up getting traded to the Cubs the next day, oddly enough. They are the fifth pair of brothers to be traded on the same day, joining Bill from Philadelphia Quakers / Phillies to Baltimore Orioles, and Dick Conway, Lawrence team to the Baltimore Orioles. In 1886, Rick Red Sox to the Senators / Twins, and Wes Farrell Red Sox to the Senators / Twins. In 1937, Hack Reds to the Cubs, and Ed Sauer Cardinals to the Boston Braves / Atlanta Braves in 1949, and Hal Milwaukee Braves / Atlanta Braves to the Cubs, and Danny Breeden Reds to the Cubs. In 1970, both Conways and Farrells were traded together. And then one last trade note, Eugenio Suarez was traded back to Seattle. His 36 homers are most by a player in a season prior to the most homers by a player in a season prior to the midseason trade. Prior record, 1997, Mark McGwire's 34, where he was traded from the A's to the Cardinals. And that's it for July 30th. For July 31st, Braves beat the Reds 12-11 in 10 innings. The Braves 8-run eighth and the Reds 8-run eighth. Is third time in MLB history. Both teams score 8+ runs in the same inning, joining August 2nd, 2007. The White Sox at Yankees 7th inning. The final score is the White Sox over the Yankees 13-9. And May 8th, 2004, Tigers at the Rangers 5th inning. Tigers won that game. Rangers won that game 16-15 in 10 innings. That's it for July 31st. For August 1st, Brewers beat the Nationals 16-9. Andrew Vaughn's 2-run homer in the 8th marks 24 RBIs in the first 17 games of the Brewers, which is tied for third most in the first 17 games of the team since 1920, behind 1925 Manny Brooks' Cubs 27 and 1922 Brad Russell's 26, and tied with 1984 Dave Kingman with the Athletics, 1977 Joe Rodriguez with the Angels, and 1926 Zach Wilson with the Cubs. Rockies beat the Pirates 17-16, 9-run first with the Pirates on 10 hits. Is the first Pirates 10-hit inning since August 6, 1959 in the 9th versus the Cardinals. Rockies come back from down 9-0, 12-4, 15-6, and 16-10 from 6th inning and on to beat the Pirates, making them the 6th team to win after allowing 9+ runs in the first inning in MLB history, joining August 23rd, 2006 Cleveland Guardians 10, June 8th, 1989 Phillies 10, September 30th, 1913 Phillies, May 17th, 1896 Reds, and June 21st, 1884 Cleveland Blues. That's it for April 1st. For April 2nd, Rockies beat the Pirates 8-5. Paul Skeens 0 runs allowed in the first inning. Is his 23rd to start this season, which passes 2024 Reese Olson, 1992 Cruz, Juan Guzman, and 1942 Paul Derringer for second most in MLB history, with 23 now and only behind 1923 Bob Shockey's 27 for the most. Did he start today for the Pirates? If he did, his streak is over. No, not yet. He's starting tomorrow, maybe? He's starting tomorrow. Okay. Because at the moment, that streak still stands. Pirates beat the Phillies 7-5. Wheeler and School both having 10 plus strikeouts and 0 walks today. They have now each have 6 each of 10 plus walks and 0 strikeouts, 10 plus strikeouts and 0 walks this season, which is tied for second most in the season since 1900, behind 2019 Garrett Cole 7, and tied with 2021 Garrett Cole, 2019 Justin Verlander, 2016 Clayton Kershaw, 2004 Randy Johnson, and 2002 Kurt Schilling. And that's it for August 2nd. For August 3rd, Cubs beat the Orioles 5-3. Justin Turner's pinch hit walk-off 2-run homer in the 9th at 40 years and 253 days old. He's the second oldest player in Cubs history with a walk-off homer, younger than only July 2nd, 1986, Davey Lopez is 41 years and 60 days old, and they're the only Cubs to do so at 40 plus years old. Also makes him the second oldest player at the time of his first career regular season walk-off homer, younger than May 26, 1958, Murray Dixon, 41 years, 278 days old. He's only other 40 plus. September 17th, 1989, Rick Dempsey at 40 years and 4 days old. The Brewers beat the Nationals, 14-3. There's 38 runs in the series, is tied for third most runs in a 3-game span in Brewers history, behind June 29th and July 1st, 1999 at the Cubs, and April 7th to 9th, 1978 versus the Orioles 40, and July 16th to 18th, 1996 versus the Tigers and versus the Yankees 39, tied with April 8th to 11th, 1979 at the Yankees and versus the Red Sox, and ahead of April 20th to 22nd, 2010 at the Pirates, and June 11th to the 13th, 1996 at the Rangers and versus the A's 36. A lot of those were, by the way, back when they were still in the American League. Marlins beat the Yankees 7-3. Marlins are the first team to reach 500, 55-55 record. They are under 500 currently. Even if they would have won tonight, they would still be a game under 500. Let's see if they won or lost. They are now no okay, so they're only a game under 500. They won today, but still under 500 now. That Sunday they had become tied at 500 after being 16 plus games under since 2014 Rays, the others to do so 2008 Cleveland, 2006 Marlins, and 2004 Rays. Sorry about that. Mariners beat the Rangers 5-4. Julio Rodriguez two-run homer. The third is his 100th career homer, making him marking 100 plus homers, 100 plus stolen bases in his first 4 seasons, making him third player to do so, joining Bobby Bonds and Darryl Strawberry. Also makes him the second Mariner this season with 20 plus homers and 20 plus stolen bases through 113 team games with Randy Rosarena, making them the 4th set and 5th time 2 players get 20 plus homers and 20 plus seasons on the same team through 113 team games, joining 1998 Blue Jays Sean Green, Jose Canseco, 1996 Colorado Rockies Dante Bichette, Ellis Burks, and 1987-88 Darryl Strawberry and Howard Johnson. Phillies beat the Tigers 2-0. Christopher Sanchez, 84 pitches through 8 innings, is fused by a Phillies starting pitcher through 8 innings since Zach Eflin on June 12, 2019's 82. That's it for August 3rd. For August 4th, Phillies beat the Orioles 13-3. Schwarber's grand slam homer in the 6th. He also had a homer earlier in the game, so it was a 2-homer game. Is his 40th homer this season in his Phillies' 112th game this season. That's the fewest team games to 48 homers in the season in Phillies history. That's it for August 4th. For August 5th, Giants beat the Pirates 8-1. Logan Web's 10 strikeouts and 0 walks. This is his 4th such outing this season. That's the most by a San Francisco Giants / New York Giants pitcher in a season since 1900, passing 2022 Carlos Rodon, 2021 Kevin Gausman, and 2012 and 2016 Madison Bumgarner. Also, is his 6th career such outing, which is second most in Giants history since 1900, behind Mad Bum's 12. A's beat the Nationals 16-7. Shane Langeliers had a 3-homer game, his first 2 homers, making him the 6th catcher since 6th catcher instance, 4th catcher, 6th instance, and 4th catcher to have multi-homer game out of the leadoff spot since 1900, joining August 31st, 2019, July 22nd, 2019, and April 20th, 2019, Mitch Garver, July 15th, 2019, Travis d'Arnaud, which was a 3-homer game, and July 3rd, 2001, Paulo Ducal. Him and Travis d'Arnaud are only catchers to have a 3-homer game out of the leadoff spot. He's also the first player since 1900 to have a 3-homer game in first career game out of the leadoff spot. He's also the 4th catcher with multiple 3-homer games, joining Travis d'Arnaud, Gary Carter, and Johnny Bench. His 15 total bases are tied for most by a catcher in a game since 1900 with June 24th, 1950, Wes Westrum, and July 6, 1949, Walker Cooper. That's it for the most part. Standings update, which does not include today's games. You can figure just on the results of today, but not including today's games. In the AL East, Blue Jays in first place, 67-48, followed by the 64-51 Red Sox, followed by the 16-54 Yankees, followed by the 56-59 Rays, followed by the 51-63 Orioles. Sorry about that. In the AL Central, the Tigers in first place, 66-49, followed by the 58-55 Guardians, followed by the 56-58 Royals, followed by the 53-60 Twins, followed by the 42-71 White Sox. In the AL West, the Astros in first place, 64-50, followed by the 61-53 Mariners, followed by the 16-55 Rangers, followed by the 59-59 A's, followed by Angels, followed by the 15-65 A's. In the NL East, the Phillies in first place at 65-48, followed by the 63-51 Mets, followed by the 55-57 Marlins, followed by the 47-65 Mets, Braves, followed by the 44-68 Nationals. In the NL Central, the Brewers in first place, 69-44, followed by the Cubs at 65-48, followed by the 60-54 Reds, followed by the 57-58 Cardinals, followed by the 49-65 Pirates. And in the NL West, the Dodgers in first place, 66-48, followed by the 63-51 Padres, followed by the 57-57 Giants, followed by the 54-60 Diamondbacks, followed by the 30-83 Rockies. And as for the games currently going on today, and then I'll even go over tomorrow's games. Games that are currently going on, there's only 2 games currently going on. Diamondbacks are beating the Padres 2-0 bottom 3, and Mariners are beating the White Sox 2-1 bottom 2. As for the games that have already gone final, Cubs beat the Reds 6-1, Giants beat the Pirates 4-2, Orioles beat the Phillies 5-1, Guardians beat the Mets 4-1, and we're and Gavin Williams took no hitter in the ninth against the Mets, but one broken on Juan Soto solo run for one out in the ninth. Twins beat the Tigers 9-4, Yankees beat the Rangers 3-2. Blue Jays hammered the Rockies 20-1. Rays beat the Angels 5-4. Cardinals beat the Dodgers 5-3. Marlins beat the Astros 6-4. A's beat the Nats beat the A's 2-1. Royals beat the Red Sox 7-3, and Brewers beat the Braves 5-4. And as for tomorrow's schedule, which there aren't that many games tomorrow, A's and Nationals at 12:05. Jacob Lopez against Mitchell Parker. White Sox Mariners at 4:10. Shane Smith against Logan Gilbert. Reds at Pirates at 6:40. Brady Singer against Paul Skeens. Marlins at Braves at 7:15. Yuri Perez against Carlos Carrasco. And that's it for this week's episode of the podcast. For watching and listening. If you're new on YouTube, leave a like and subscribe on notification and notify when I go live and post a new video. If you're new on audio, follow the podcast, leave a review, and notification bell so notify when I go post on there. Thanks so much for watching and listening. I'll see you next week's episode 182. Bye-bye.